Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Make sure you're subscribed anywhere you get podcasts, and be sure to follow me on socials at MLU Pod. You can also support My Little Underground for as little as $1 a month. Details are in the description and over at peteraradio.com. Today on the show, we have a longtime friend of mine, Kaitlin Boyle. She's the founder of KBoyleCustoms that makes custom longboards for anyone who's interested. And we talked about starting a business during a pandemic, changing her career path, building clientele, and so much more right here on My Little Underground. All right, Miss Kaitlin Boyle, ready to be interviewed?
I am so ready and totally honored, Peter. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's weird because, I've known you for so long. Like, it's so interesting to have you in this kind of context rather than just talking. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I mean, Peter Arriaga is a Valley Stream legend. I mean, the
What?
Arriaga family is legendary.
I didn't even know about that.
Yes, you did. Come on. I mean, the
Didn't know.
Arriaga family is like so passionate about each and every different thing that they do, and it's so well known. I'm just honored to be here. I'm really so excited.
So what you're saying is people are talking about me behind my back. Oh, great. Now I have to make a list.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. And oh my gosh, so I remember just connecting with your brother through Sip This.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yes, oh my gosh, another Valley Stream legend. One of the best places, really beautiful, and just a place to like express your artistry and passion. So, huge fan of the Arriaga family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I understand over the last couple of years, and I think we have this in common too, you kind of underwent kind of a career switch, a career trajectory switch. You went into medicine, I understand, and now you're starting your own business. So what kind of went through your mind when you were kind of switching your career and whatnot?
So it's actually really crazy. And I mean, I could just dive super deep into this topic. I underwent a lot of changes throughout my 20s and my college experiences. I was in nursing school for 3 years. I was like a year away from graduating, and I couldn't do it. I thought that nursing school was going to be, saving lives, but it's not just saving lives. It's a lot more than that. It's, dealing with death and family members of people who die and very, very sick people. And most of the time it's, spending the day with people on their very worst day. So I have the utmost respect for nurses. I bow down to them. I thank them with all of my heart. But it was just not for me. It was a very depressing environment for me. And I always felt in my heart that, you really have to listen to those gut feelings. So then I switched into education. And I got my master's degree in special education at Malloy College, still also like in addition to my nursing degree. And, as I went through the education program, I loved the kids, and I, loved the environment that I was in and the creativity that I can, express through that career path. But then, I started student teaching, and I started to get to know more of the business aspect of it and the kind of levels in the system. And then coronavirus happened. So I got my master's degree, I got my certification, and then coronavirus hits, and I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to be hiring right now in March at the time. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I started this longboard business with epoxy resin, and I don't know, it's crazy. I'm just falling in love with it, and I'm not completely writing off, education as a whole. But for right now, I am loving the artist lifestyle, and it really just sets my soul on fire. And I know you can relate, Peter, because you're an artist yourself, just through this amazing podcast and expressing yourself, and how great you are with other people, with everybody. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you. And I remember, because again, I've known you for a long time. Going back to like elementary school, you've always had this kind of this very warm, you know, demeanor about you, almost like a teacher would have. And it wasn't like disingenuous, because I remember I'd be like upset about something, then you come up to me like, "Hey, don't let these people get to you. Don't do that." And I've always appreciated that. And it just makes sense that you're, you got a degree in special education, because I could just see you with kids, you know, I could see kids definitely connecting to you in so many different ways.
Oh
So
man, kids are so great.
yeah.
I love, being around kids because I am a giant kid and I find that kids are just, they're really honest, they're really innocent, they're very smart. And the less you teach and the more that you let them kind of discover things on their own by giving them the tools and letting them experiment with, different problems or, actual tactile things or experiences just in life or whatever the case may be, they really just blow you out of the water. I love that aspect of education. But the education world, I heard on your last podcast too. I mean, it could get very controversial, and there's a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of people and things to analyze, especially with this new pandemic, this new world of the pandemic happening, so it's a lot of responsibility. And while my new business is also a responsibility, it's my responsibility only. I'm not responsible for, you know children's lives and parents, having their kids go home and then the virus being spread to their elderly family members or whatever the case may be. I know I wanted to be a nurse so I could save people. And I wanted to be an educator so I could shape the youth of our nation to accept themselves and to follow their dreams and be happy. But I'm also realizing that for my own mental peace, I put a lot of pressure on myself to be this positive and inspirational person. But it really, at the end of the day, I'll go home at night and it sucks the life out of me, man. It's really depressing. People will always be like, "Are you this happy all the time?" And I'm like, "Man, no, are you crazy?" No one is. I just do it when I go home so I'm not a burden to anybody or because I got it good in life, so but everybody has, problems. It's crazy.
And when you're talking about, K-Boyle Customs, you're kind of helping people break cabin fever. You're making these lush, gorgeous longboards to
Thank
help people
you.
get out of the house and do what they do, and to learn a new skill, a new trade, to pick up something to keep their minds healthy, because it's a physical activity. So there's that. And I don't think we realize the things that we do and how they affect people. I don't know how this podcast will affect people, but I'm starting to think that it already is, but I just don't know it yet. But watching you and everything you're doing with, with your company, it's on so many different levels. It's an artistic thing, and it's a business, and you're making a piece of hardware. So yeah, when you started this, was it just because, oh, I have nothing to do, we're in a pandemic and I'm isolated, or did you have this kind of planned out already?
Well, it was really crazy because, as you know, I mean, my boyfriend Taylor and I, we've been living in Island Park together for 6 years now. And at the, first week of the pandemic, we were meal stretching. He is a photographer and I was, a bunch.
A really good one too.
Yeah, he is really great. He is really
Yeah.
great. If you want to follow at Taylor Robinson photo, taylorrobinson.photo. But he, he's a photographer. I had a bunch of odd jobs at the time because I was planning on in, March to start interviewing for a job this September at a school as a teacher. And so what I was doing at the time, because I had graduated that, May before that, I had been like I was cleaning houses for like people that I knew, and I was I was doing photography assisting at weddings and, organizing and tutoring. And like, I just had like a million jobs that were all of these odd jobs. And I was happy doing them, because they were like these like really, you put your headphones in, you kind of just do your thing, you do the job and you get out of there. And I was happy with that. It wasn't so much like pressure and like analytical data collecting, and you know what I mean? It was just like fluent. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then the coronavirus hits, all Taylor's weddings get canceled. Nobody wants people in their house cleaning their house anymore. Everybody's stuck at home. I can't interview for a teaching job. Me and him are broke. I should say him and I, but we were broke. We have a dog and 2 cats in a 1-bedroom apartment in Island Park. And we're like, oh my God. Like, we were so scared, so upset, so angry, getting quite sick of each other, might I add. And Taylor's birthday was in February. I got him a blank skateboard and I said to him, wouldn't it be cool if we did something epoxy resin on it? He said, I love the beach. I would love if you would do a beach on it. So I said, all right, let's, like this Corona crap is like, it's just really shitty, let's just try and like do something fun right now. Like, let's not watch TV or be on our phones. Like, let's do something together. So we went live on Facebook and I said, like, got Taylor this thing. Like, I know everybody's at home. Maybe you'd want to watch because it could be horrible and hilarious, or it could be really cool and awesome. So let's see. And a bunch of people were watching my Facebook Live video, and we made his skateboard, and he, loved the way it came out. And a bunch of people loved the way it came out, and they were like, "Can I have one? Can I have one?" And I was like, "Wow, like this is amazing. People want this stuff." So I started looking into wholesalers, and my parents were at the time, my parents are like, amazing people. They're my best friends. And so I reached out to them, and it was about a month into the pandemic at this point. And I just said, like, listen, Taylor and I are really struggling. If you could invest in me $500, I will get it back to you within a month. And if my business plan flops, you get your $500 back, and I, figure out how to get a job in some sort of, writing from home or virtual learning program. And I'll like screw the dream, like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But like, I just need this. I think it could really work. Like, I think people will really pay for this stuff. And they were like, you know what? Kaitlin is so depressed right now, and like if we don't help her right now, like what could happen? It was so bad. And I suffer, from panic disorder and depression. It's mostly seasonal. And so I have this like crazy, like creative mind that goes either way. It's either like really, really happy or really, really sad. And so so they were like, yeah, we'll give you the $500. I invest, I look up a wholesaler, I get these boards shipped to my house, and I start resining them. And people start buying them. And I was amazed, and I was happy, and I was like not feeling pressure. And like, I was able to pay off so much debt that we had gotten into from the pandemic, and like just swiping the credit card because we had no other way to like eat. And and like our rent debt we're still chipping away at. But like, I mean, this business has totally catapulted me out of this like really sad place. And it was all from like not listening to, societal pressures and like actually truly listening to my heart, as scary and as lonely as it felt, if that makes sense.
No, completely. Unbelievable. I mean, it's a big risk, especially during now when small businesses are suffering and have gone away. Siptis and Valley Stream. Not sure that was the reason why they closed, but it's just part of a whole series of things that are going on right now. Weren't you a little nervous watching small businesses crumble and then at the same time starting your own?
It looks like he's talking, but I can't really tell. Peter, I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you couldn't hear me? Can you hear me now? Hi. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Hello?
I don't know what to do.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I'll walk you through it.
Uh-oh. I just don't hear him. See, he's talking, it seems.
Check. Can you hear me?
Katie, why don't you leave the chat and come back? Okay. I'm sorry, Peter.
No, it's okay.
Oh my God, wait, you're back. Where were
I'm back?
I did? Oh my gosh. Peter!
You muted me?
I'm so embarrassed. I thought because remember, did you
Yeah.
a ding go off?
Yeah. Oh, right. That was your phone. Yeah, of course.
No, it was my laptop. So I muted the laptop thinking that, like, of course it wouldn't mute you. I am
okay.
so sorry. Were you talking over me the whole time and I was just talking and talking?
No. When you said oh, I can't hear him, I just said hello. That's all I was saying. It's okay.
God! Can you edit this out?
Of course, it's not live. It's not live.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I feel like I was probably talking for like 100 hours. Oh,
no.
So
I heard you. No. Yeah, the only thing it's fine. Don't worry about it. So, okay, hold on. Wait 5 seconds, and then I'm going to ask a question that I asked before.
Okay.
Okay. So, were you nervous about starting a business in a period where small businesses were suffering?
That's a really crazy question because one would think, why start a business during a global pandemic when most small businesses are failing? That's a really good question. I don't know. I think that I am attracted to risky situations for some reason. I don't know. I am so like, I don't know, chasing that adrenaline rush. And I guess I just kind of went for it because it just happened, I mean, I only learned how to longboard when I was 23 years old. I'm constantly learning something new in this life, and that's what keeps me going. So, it sounded like a terrible idea. I mean, my parents, I was able to pay them back really quickly, and they were pretty shocked at that. And then from there, it just went soaring. And I think that the reason why it worked was because people were looking for socially distant activities to do by themselves that was fun and exciting, and it could take them from point A to point B fast, and really when I longboard anyway, I mean, I feel super free. Like, even if I'm really not that great at it, like, it's just a really freeing, calming, wonderful experience. Even when you hit the deck hard, like I was longboarding this morning, I fell and scraped myself up, but you just like lay there for a minute and then you get back up and you keep going back. And that's how I feel about life. I mean, even if this business, which I love with all my heart, was to get squished tomorrow, to me, it would just be an opportunity for another start at something new. I mean, especially during this quarantine, Pete, I believe that this is a modern Renaissance era, what we're experiencing right now. It's really, really different and unique. And obviously, it's been very difficult for so many people. And it's changed a lot of lives in many different ways. But we have to look at it like a Renaissance era, just a time to thrive and change. I mean, one of the most amazing things that pieces of advice that I've ever gotten in my life was from my grandfather. And he said, if you fight change, you will drown in a sea of progress. And I really believe that. And I try to live by it every day.
Wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
That's literally my life. But when I look at you, when I look at KBoyleCustoms, especially on socials, it's just more than just a longboarding business. Because one thing I love when you document your progress. It's unbelievable. And you did that behind the scenes video of you in your parents' basement. You walked me through the whole process. I'm like, I want to see more of this. It's like watching HDTV or something like that. It was really interesting. And then you pick out different songs that you're listening to at that moment that fits the mood of either your board or how you're just feeling at that moment. Is that true? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I love to keep people a part of the process, because sometimes, I remember I didn't even start doing art until I was 23. Honestly, 23 was a big year for me because I quit drinking when I was 23. And I just like partying was my thing. And like just getting drunk was like the thing that I did for fun. And so like when I quit drinking, it left a lot of room for like creativity and art and longboarding and drawing and like making music and writing raps and like, all this like really cool new stuff that I like thought was like, I don't know, kiddish, I guess. And like I thought it wasn't, cool, or there were no communities for it. But dude, there's so many communities for it. There's so many communities for so many different things. There's adult dodgeball. Like I joined volleyball teams. Like there there's so many things out there that you can do. So like basically, I really do love to keep people a part of the process, because I think that a lot of people out there like myself, back in the day, think that they can't do it, or they're not a good artist, or they don't have a crafty or creative side. And what's so crazy about that is like neither do I'm not even an artist, dude. If somebody was like, can you make a portrait of my face right now, I would be like, you gotta find somebody else. I could probably refer you to somebody that I know, like Silvana Mia, that we went to
Yes.
we went to high school with. She
Yeah.
would be able to do that. She's an amazing artist. I'm more of a strategist, right? So like I do a lot of research on the things that I like, and I just look at what the people who are really good at it do, and then I try and kind of do that, but plus add my own taste into it. So like when I started the longboards, actually, like I didn't see any epoxy resin longboards happening the way that I was doing them. And like, especially with like graphics and then like a clear coat on top. And so I think that had a lot to do with what made me inspired and like made me want to keep on going, is that like, this is like a whole new market, this is a whole new market. And it's like kind of like a mix of reality TV, right? Like a Kardashians or something, or like you said, like, Home Improvement or whatever, or like Architects Digest or something. You're like kind of like it's reality TV, but then people get to watch their project be created. And, they tell me, you know, they tell me what they want and what's in their mind, and I draw it up on my iPad and then send it back to them, and we go back and forth, and through that process I get to like learn so much about these incredible people who don't want to just go to Zoomies or like PacSun and like get a skateboard, like or Walmart. They want to go to a person that is gonna take their vision and bring it to life. And like that to me is really special. And there's not one moment like that there's times where I'm like, man, it got messed up or whatever, but there's not one moment where I feel unhappy doing this, even when times get rough.
How are you building clientele?
Honestly, people are like, you got to put more on your website. You got to do this and that. You got to advertise more. But dude, I can't work fast enough. I am one person. And like, eventually I'd love to hire employees when I get myself out of debt and can get myself out of here and get myself like a studio space. And that would be, the eventual goal. But for right now, I mean, I'm not even working at my parents' house anymore. Like, I just wanted to be in my own space so that I'm not living this like dual lifestyle where I'm going back and forth. Like, I want to wake up in the morning and I want to work on my stuff, and I don't want to feel like, I'm in this halfway point. I want to be focused. So, I would really love to make this like dream come true and just keep going.
So bring me through the creative steps for your boarding creation process. When someone orders a board, give me the beginning to end of how you make that happen.
Oh, so basically they'll message me on Instagram or Facebook. That's where I get the most clients and traffic through my site. And they'll message me and they'll just say, hey, like I looked at your boards, I really want this or that. Like for example, I'm working on this really awesome board, and it's gonna be half ocean and then half like a galaxy sky with a silhouetted forest. And
So
then
you are an artist.
yeah, well, I'm a strategist, man. I'm a strategist.
Stop.
I'm telling you, you have to watch some videos because truly I'm just like dumping product onto a board and it does its own thing. It's magic. It really is not me. I'm just there making the moves. But so the ocean side is getting a shark head on it, and then the forest side is going to get a wolf head on it. And I just think it's so funny, like this guy, like it just shows, he's like, well, obviously, I mean, those are the best animals. And then like, you find out what people's favorite animals are, or like what they're super into, or it's really, really special. So basically what I would do to do something like that is I would start in layers. I would do I would spray paint the board black, right, for the galaxy background, and then do the other side blue and tan for the water and the sand. Wait for it to dry, and then I pour resin on top, and then I, draw the graphic once the resin dries, and then I do more resin, and then I wait for that resin to cure, and then I drill my holes in my skateboard, and then I put the trucks on, and then the wheels and the bearings and the hardware, and it's a long labor of love for sure. It is, and that's why it doesn't cost the same as a Walmart board. It's definitely more than that. But to me, it's so special and it's so worth it. And there is a market for it. And I'm not going to settle for less. I mean, I think that like, that's what people think too, when that's what I want people to think when they come to my site is I'm not going to settle for less. I want the best, most unique, you know, un mockable, like nobody could duplicate it kind of board, because I'm that unique and authentic of a person and I deserve that. That's what I want people to think when they come to me for their longboard.
Tell me some of the rituals that you must do before, during, after your creative process. Do you have to eat breakfast or eat lunch? Do you have to listen to a certain song or get a certain song or certain album or whatever ready before you do anything?
Yes, I always, always, always have music playing. I either will like put the TV on and just like run a bunch of NPR Tiny Desk concerts, which I'm obsessed with, or I'll put on like Tyler the Creator radio because I like love him, or like Logic or J. Cole, or sometimes I'm into like, Portishead, or like you, Fiona Apple. And
Don't get me started. Don't
yeah,
get me started with her.
07 or Big L or Big Pun, or like all like I don't know, I have a very eclectic music taste. I would love to get into metal. I've never really been into metal, but all my friends are into metal. Not much into country at all. I've really tried. The most country I can go is like Neil Young, and I love Neil Young, but that's as country as I'll go, I think.
I'll send you some great country acts and some great metal acts. Because again, like myself, I'm not too huge on those two styles of music, but I've found over the last couple of years or so some great stuff in those fields that I know for sure, 1,000% that you would be fans of. I'm telling you.
Pete, I believe you. You have impeccable taste in music. I always love our shares.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I need to do a certain thing before I do, like today, like before I do this, I have to eat breakfast. I have to have my lunch. I have to have my tea. I have to have my coffee. I have to watch Treehouse of Horror before I do anything. You know what I'm saying?
I love
So
it. I love it. I mean,
yeah.
I actually don't have much routine in my life, which is a blessing and a curse. I notice that like when I'm busy, I'm really good. So like if I have due dates, there is some sort of routine where I'll do whatever it is that's scheduled. So like say I have a project due. So like that, whatever that project is will be a part of my routine and that will keep me motivated. However, I'm not a routine oriented person, which is also why this artist life works really well for me and why teaching is a little bit scary to me because I am very I'm a little bit all over the place and it's like this like I don't know, it's like chaos, but it's I know where everything is, so you know what I mean? Like it works. It
Of
works.
course. Oh my God. I live in a mess. Like I have music everywhere. It's my mess, but it all makes sense to me,
Right,
you know?
exactly. But rituals always include music for me. Whatever it is I'm doing, it needs to include being outdoors at some point and music. And that's about as far as I go with routine.
So how did your family feel about you setting up shop in their basement initially?
So initially, they they were they were happy, I guess. I mean, they were happy to have me there because, it was a pandemic and, I was not really going there. But I was also quarantining and they were quarantining. So finally we were like, okay, we've been quarantining for a long time. Like now at least we can open our bubble to each other. So I started going over there and I was being really careful and everything, and like I wasn't going near them or touching them or hugging them, and like I wore a mask inside, and my brother was having a baby at the time, so like I really could not be near them, and so that they could hold the baby and whatever the case may be. But it ended up just working because they're never in the basement. And so what I would do is I got to do my laundry for free while I was doing art in the basement. It was great. And eventually it started not being as happy of a situation. And my parents, like I said, most wonderful people in the world, anybody would have this reaction. But like I told you, I'm a person who's a little bit all over the place. And so, the basement ended up being the Florida room, ended up being the garage, and now everything is my space. So they were like, okay, that's enough. And so I like was like, you know what, that makes sense. And I can't live the double life either. I need to make, whatever boundaries stand in your way. And this goes for anything. If you really love something, you just have to just be like, I don't care how many speed bumps there are. Like, bring them.
So as we're recording this, it is October 3rd. And October 11th, you have your Jones Beach costume ride. What's that all about?
Yes, so I'm so excited about this. October 11th, we are going to be doing a costume cruise. So Taylor, being that a lot of his weddings are canceled and that he is the best boyfriend ever, he's gonna come that day and take some awesome photos. And I'm, opening it up to the public. So anybody, all ages, bicycles, one wheels, scooters, skateboards, longboards, whatever the case may be. I was thinking, let's all put our masks on. Let's put on a costume. I know Halloween's going to be weird this year. There's not going to be trick or treating and going door to door. And a lot of people are really depressed right now. So I thought, let's get like a cruise going. Everybody just has to bring their own mask and like whatever wheels they're gonna ride. We'll wear our costumes. We'll take some epic drone shots, epic pictures. I'll set up some pumpkins in the field. There's like a completely empty parking lot right now. So I'll just set up some pumpkins and, teach people how to carve back and forth through the pumpkins on their longboards. And, I want to encourage, really mainly what I would love to encourage is like young girls to come out and not be so timid or afraid to, fall down and, bump your knees and, like keep moving forward and like not being afraid to ask questions or afraid to try something new and, to get ourselves out there. Because even when I was a little kid, oh gosh, all I wanted to do was longboard and like skateboard. But like, I always felt like it was only boys doing it, when I was younger. So kind of hung back. And I never had the courage to learn until I was like 23 years old. So, I really am so excited about it. It's going to be Jones Beach, Fields 5, 3 p.m., October 11th. Masks required. Obviously, keep your distance. We're going to do some photos. We're going to have some fun. Bring some snacks, whatever. We can eat, tailgate style in our cars distantly. I figure as long as everybody's responsible and is looking to have a good time and, bring pads if you can, it should be good. It'll be a really, really fun time. And I'm hoping we have weather like today.
Are you kind of thinking about like the winter months for your business? Do you think people are going to want to order boards when it's like snowing or there's
So
ice everywhere?
luckily, Christmas is in winter and people like to get longboards for Christmas
Uh-huh.
gifts too. However,
Yep.
I did think about that. And if you check out my KBoyleCustoms page on Instagram, I do also trays, I do 3-panel wooden canvases, I do shiplap, I do galactic pieces, ocean view pieces, I do carvings, I do paddles, cutting boards, signs, boxes, coasters. So, I I'm never short of new ideas and I'm willing to come up with ideas. And I think that the best part, my favorite part of K Boyle Customs is that when a customer reaches out, they reach out with this like completely unique idea and they're like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And I all I want to do in that moment is to come up with a way to figure it out, and to like make it beautiful. And that's all we can really do in life, I think.
Yeah, and I just love that K Boyle Customs is more than just longboards. It's a lot. It seems like you're expanding into a lot of different territory, which is amazing. You're keeping yourself fresh.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love one day if Peter, when I get a house, when I just have a space that I can work in and have real tools like, oh man, I just can't wait to have a table saw. I want to make conference tables. They sell those River Run. I don't know if you know those River Run epoxy resin tables. Um, they're absolutely beautiful. If you look them up on Google, epoxy resin river tables, those conference tables sell for like $10,000 a table.
Wow,
It's insane. It's insane.
unbelievable. And there's a lot of like, how do you call those? Kind of WeWork office spaces that people rent. So down the line in a couple of years, I can see you kind of supplying that kind of materials for them,
I would love that.
which would be really cool to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this place down the block actually from where Taylor and I live called Bridgeworks. Um, and it's just like this like really unique office space. I'm not even sure how it's doing through COVID, but Taylor was working with a bunch of partners for this Black Sail Productions company that he works for, and they were meeting at this Bridgeworks place, and it's like they like order Taco Bell to the place, and like, it's just a community space where everybody's like, hey, like, you want to order pizza? Like, I'm studying right now. And like, I don't know, it's like college for people not in college, if that makes sense. But I would love to do some tables for places like that, but I also don't know how, community spaces are going to go over in the future.
You're right about that. It's going to look strange in the coming years. So, Katie, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking with me about your fantastic business that is just going to grow and grow. So this is your time. Where can people follow you and order a board and whatnot?
Thank you so much for having me, Pete. I so appreciate being a part of your podcast. It was amazing. Please follow me at KBoyleCustoms on Instagram, KBoyleCustoms on Facebook. You can email me at kboylecustoms@gmail.com, or you can look me up at www.kboylecustoms.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for hearing out my story. Please reach out. I love to hear new ideas. And Peter, please keep in touch. I so admired our time today. I admire you as an artist, as a person, and as a friend. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I miss you. I'm so glad we did this.
Me
It was
too.
just this, like, I love your business and all this stuff, but I really just wanted to catch up with you, really, because I haven't seen you in so long. It's really just a hangout,
well,
a virtual hangout. That's all.
I don't know what you're doing on October 11th, but if you're around, come through for the ride.
But I don't longboard, but it would just be a sight to see.
Yeah,
October 11th. What is that? A Sunday?
It's going to be a Sunday. Columbus Day, I think, is the next day. I think a lot of people are off from work.
Okay.
And it's going to be really fun. Like, I'll bring extra longboards. I'll bring a skateboard. I'll throw some trucks on some KBoyleCustoms longboards that I have. I'm thinking of raffling it off at the end of the day. I think could be a really cool thing. And if you don't longboard or you don't feel comfortable longboarding, bring a scooter or rollerblades, like whatever, a bike, whatever you feel comfortable on. Truly, the gathering is about getting together, trying new things, meeting new people, and socially distancely, of course.
Absolutely. If you're still selling a bike, I might talk to you.
Yeah, actually, we're selling some bikes. Well, we were going to bring them. If you want to test them out, that's the day.
Okay. All right, Katie, thank you so much. I'm going to send you some tunes in the country and metal fashion that I think you'll enjoy.
I look forward to it because this is going to be a hard case to crack for you. I'm pretty adamant, but I want to be more open-minded to it. I really do. And I know that, like, if the people I love most love it so much, then I have to find something that's great in that genre.
Yeah. All right, Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Happy Saturday and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.